bed at night late. We eat, sleep, and breathe this campaign. Because another reason why I'm a part of this campaign is because some of the candidates that are running are so dangerously ill prepared. They are very dangerous candidates because they do not understand the complexities of this particular job. And we have seen in our presidential election what happens when a president is not prepared, does not have experience, does not have a track record, cannot point to their results in our community. So this election, we're having a good time. We've got the posters up. But this is in reality a life and death campaign. And I don't just mean it in the sense of a theoretical concept. We saw what a lack of inexperience can do, and over 500,000 people in this country have died, and it did not have to be that way. So we have to recognize that we have to put someone in this office who understands the complexities of the city of New York and can bring home the resources that we need in the city of New York. So I'm not going to take up too much time because we've got a dynamic Congress member who is here. He was dancing with the African drummers. He was organizing. He had his chants ready. He was going down, going up, going low, to the left, to the right. He has been with this campaign and has been a strong supporter of the Eric Adams campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Congressmember Tom Suozzi!
Yes.
Who's our candidate? 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 Eric Adams.
There you go.
Eric Adams. Who's our candidate?
Eric.
Who's our Eric Adams. Who's our candidate?
Eric.
Who's our candidate?
Eric Adams.
Thank you, fellas.
Wow.
Who's our candidate?
Eric.
Who's our candidate?
Eric Adams.
Okay, I got it now.
Yes.
Well, listen, I am so happy to be with all of you. That was so much fun. Was that fun coming over the bridge?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'm not going to give a big speech about how great Eric is. We know how great Eric is. I don't need to persuade this group of people that everything Eric has done in his life has prepared him for this particular job at this particular time in history. Everything he's done. I don't need to persuade you of that.
Correct.
But let's be conscious of the fact that over the next 10 days, there are going to be a lot of negative attacks against our candidate because he's in first place.
Yes.
And everybody's going to go after him. And we have to work harder than ever and be prepared for those attacks when they come. This week, they tried to say that a captain of the police force who worked 20 years in Brooklyn didn't live in Brooklyn. They tried to say the Brooklyn borough president doesn't live in Brooklyn.
Doesn't make no sense.
They try to say that the man who owns a building with an apartment, a brownstone in Bed-Stuy, doesn't live in Brooklyn because he owns a piece of real estate with his partner over in New Jersey. Now, I want to tell you, there was a previous mayor. I don't know if you're old enough here. You're all very young people. But there was a mayor of New York City called Mike Bloomberg. And when he was the mayor, he actually owned a place in Florida. He owned a place out in the Hamptons. He owned a place in the Bahamas.
Good to know.
Nobody ever questioned whether or not he lived in New York City. Now, how is that possible? That's what I would call a double standard. I would say that's actually a systemic problem that exists. Why would people question that Eric Adams lives in Brooklyn? Because they're just trying to tear him down. And they're just trying to use any excuse they can to beat him. Now listen, I'm going to finish up and just say something about all of you, okay? We're so grateful to all of you for working so hard. Don't underestimate how powerful this group of people is. Don't underestimate the difference that you can make over the next 10 days. Every single phone call you make, every single door you knock on, every single friend or family member you talk to, you can make a very big difference in this campaign. I like to tell the story of when they were building one of the great cathedrals of Europe in the Middle Ages. And there were 3 bricklayers working on it, 3 masons were working on that building. And the man came over to the first bricklayer and said, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm a bricklayer. I'm laying brick. That's what I do." No, because the second man is doing the exact same thing as the first man. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I'm a mason and I am building a wall." He says, "Oh, thank you." He goes to the third man. He's doing the exact same thing as the first man and the second man. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I am building a cathedral." That's what it takes to build something beautiful. Brick by brick. Effort by effort. Every conversation you have, every person you talk to, you will make a difference. This is going to be a very low turnout election, okay? You know, early voting started today, right? There weren't long lines around the buildings for early voting. It wasn't like it was during the presidential race. It's going to be a low turnout election. Every single individual person you convince to vote in this election will make a difference. So we're counting on you. I know, I'm exhausted like Lori is after walking over the bridge and dancing and singing, and I'm surprised I can still talk anymore. But you got to leave him here, and you got to call up your friends, and you got to call up your family members, and the people you work with. And this has got to be on your lips every day between now and Election Day. And don't underestimate that the